We saw about morphology and virulence factor of E. coli. Virulence factor, we saw 10 different type of virulence factor. P. pili, type 1 pili, CFA, non-pimperial adherent siderophorin, capsular antigen, then alpha hemolysin, then 3 different type of toxin: heat labeled, heat stable, and cigatoxin. In this video we will see about pathogenic of E. coli. E. coli causes 2 different type of diseases: extraintestinal disease and intestinal disease. Extraintestinal, it will cause urinary tract infection, neonatal meningitis, pneumonia, and septicemia. Pathogenic E. coli extraintestinal diseases, it causes urinary tract infection, neonatal meningitis, pneumonia, and septicemia. Intestinal diseases, 5 different type of E. coli strains is there. It will cause diseases: ETEC, enterotoxigenic E. coli; EPEC, enteropathogenic E. coli; EIEC, enteroinvasive E. coli; EAEC, enteroaggregative E. coli; EHEC, enterohemorrhagic E. coli. So, intestinal diseases, 5 different type of E. coli strain causes diseases: enterotoxigenic E. coli, enteropathogenic E. coli, enteroinvasive E. coli, enteroaggregative E. coli, enterohemorrhagic E. coli. This enterohemorrhagic E. coli causes bloody diarrhea. Enterotoxigenic E. coli causes traveler diarrhea. Remaining 3, pathogenic, invasive, and aggregative E. coli, causes watery diarrhea. Pathogenesis, as toxin point of view, 3 different type of toxin presented in E. coli: heat stable toxin, heat label toxin, and SIGA or virotoxin. Heat label toxin increasing cyclic guanosine monophosphate. Then heat label toxin increases cyclic adenosine monophosphate. These both cases causes watery diarrhea. This cigatoxin will degrade 23X RNA ribosome, so it will causes bloody diarrhea. So cyclic GMP and AMP increases water content and causes watery diarrhea. The virotoxin or cigatoxin degraded 20X RNA after destruction of the protein not produced, so it will causes bloody diarrhea. This cyclic heat stable and heat label toxin produced watery diarrhea. The cigatoxin or virotoxin produces bloody diarrhea because it will destruct 20S RNA. Then pathogenesis, first one is enterohemorrhagic E. coli. These strains of E. coli that produced cytotoxin that disturb protein synthesis within the host. This enterohemorrhagic E. coli produced cytotoxin. This cytotoxin disturb protein synthesis within the host. This toxin is also known as virocytotoxin or SIGA-like toxin. This cytotoxin will disturb protein synthesis. This is also called as virocytotoxin or SIGA-like toxin. This one is pathogenic to human. This enterohemorrhagic E. coli are pathogenic to human. They produced virocytotoxin that form attaching and empacing lesions on epithelial cell. They produced virocytotoxin that form attaching and effacing lesion on epithelial cell. Infection occur via fecal oral route. It causes symptoms mild diarrhea to severe bloody diarrhea. Complication, it causes Huss syndrome. Complication, it causes Huss syndrome. Symptoms mild diarrhea to severe bloody diarrhea. Infection occur via fecal oral route, which can leads to death if untreated. In this case of Huss syndrome, we didn't take any treatment, it causes death. Common serotype, we already know, E. coli O157H7. Second toxin name is called as enterotoxigenic E. coli. This one also known as traveler diarrhea. It will cause diarrhea during travel time. Infection lead to watery diarrhea which may last up to a week. It causes symptoms abdominal cramp, abdominal pain, sometimes nausea and headache. So enterotoxigenic E. coli during travel time, it will causes diarrhea, it causes abdominal pain, sometimes causes nausea and severe headache. It established itself by adhering to the epithelium of the small intestine via colonizing factor antigen. It followed by expression of heat stable and heat labile enterotoxin. This toxin increases adenylate cyclase. This adenylate cyclase increases cyclic adenosine monophosphate level, so increase level of secretion of chloride, iron and water, so it causes watery diarrhea. Here it followed by expression of heat labile and heat stable enterotoxin. So these two toxin increases level of adenylate cyclase. This adenylate cyclase increases cyclic adenosine monophosphate level. So increase level of cyclic AMP. It will increase chloride, iron and water level. So it causes watery diarrhea. Then enteroinvasive E. coli. This one is transmitted through fecal oral route. How it will transmit? Fecal oral route. Following injection, organism invade epithelial cell of intestine, resulting in a mild form of dysentery. Illness is characterized by presence of blood and mucus stool of infected individual. So after injection only this organism enter. Initially it form mild dysentery. Then illness is characterized by presence of blood and mucus stool of infected person. The person was infected from enteroinvasive E. coli means their stool sample having blood and mucus. Characteristic feature of enteroinvasive E. coli are their ability to induce the entry into the epithelial cell and spread from cell to cell. Okay, ability to induce the entry into the epithelial cell, then only it will spread to cell. EIEC. This invasive E. coli infection can occur through contaminated food and water or through mechanical factors such as flies. How this infection occur to human being? Through contaminated food and water or mechanical factors such as flies. Through fecal oral route or through contaminated food and water or mechanical factor like flies only, this organism enter to human body. After that it will causes blood and mucus in stool samples of infected individual. Then it will affected, then spread to cell. Then enteropathogenic E. coli. Following injection, organism adhere to the epithelium cells of intestine causing watery and blood diarrhea. Adherence is mediated by non-fimbrial adherence, that means hintermine, responsible for enteropathogenic or enterohemorrhagenic E. coli. It causes bloody diarrhea. This enteropathogenic E. coli does not produce any taxin. This strain most commonly associated with pediatric or kids, mainly affected kids. Then last one is enteroaggregative E. coli causes diarrhea in young children. We cannot see any inflammation, so this one is non-inflammatory and non-invasive type. Always make biofilm. It can produce the ST taxin and hemolysin. Don't know extract function. It make biofilm. It can produce the ST taxin, heat stable taxin and hemolysin, but we don't know that extract function.